Want to become an Android application developer but don't know where to start? Well, this video is for you, and in this video I'm going to tell you one by one what are the topics that you must encounter and what is your approach so that it is very easy for you as a beginner. So let's get started. I will discuss point wise because point wise is very easy and easy to follow. So the first point is programming language. Well, we use two languages to develop our Android application. We have Java, we have Kotlin. If you are a beginner and you know Java, then according to me go with Java, because migrating from Java to Kotlin is very easy and it will take only 2 weeks to learn Kotlin if you know Java. So if you are a beginner, go with Java, but if you know Kotlin and already did some projects, then it's very good for you, go with Kotlin. And apart from this, make sure to know the basics of XML, because if you know the basics, then it is very easy to learn new things quickly. Okay, so this is my point number 1. Point number 2 is Android Studio IDE. This IDE is used to develop our Android apps. Then you must know the file structure, what is Android manifest file and why we use them, what are the resources folder, what is drawable, what is string.xml, everything you need to know. Apart from this, what is build.gradle and why we use them. So you must encounter all these things and know very well, because it is a building block of your journey. Point number 3 is Android components. So we have few components that is very important. So the first component is activity. We have services, third one is broadcast receiver, and fourth one is content provider. So in activity you must know about its lifecycle methods and how to handle states. With services you must know how many type of services we have and when to use which, and apart from this also know its life cycle. Okay, third one is broadcast receiver. So in broadcast receiver we also have a lot of types, so you must know what are the type of broadcast receiver and when to use which. And apart from this, these two things very important, what is implicit broadcast receiver and what is explicit broadcast receiver and when to use which. This is a very important thing. You must know which broadcast receiver is a perfect for your condition. Fourth one is content provider. So content provider is actually used to get the data from other apps. So you must know about what is content URI, how to perform operation with this content provider, working of this content provider, and apart from this you must know how to create a content provider. So these four is a building block and every application uses these components. So after knowing all the Android components, you should start with UI themes. So first explore the layouts, how many different type of layout we have and what are the differences between these layout, like frame layout, relative layout, constraint layout, linear layout. We have a lot of layouts, so explore these layouts and try to learn what is the difference between these layout and which condition suits best for your layout and choose accordingly. After learning these layout things, try to learn the view elements and how to use these view elements, what are the XML properties we got in this view element. Okay, after doing all the simple things, go to little bit complex UI like a recycler view, list view, toast, dialog, all these things. Okay, so starting from the simple, go to little bit complex. By doing this, it is very easy for you to adapt the situation and also it will increase your productivity. Point number 6 is storage. So we have different types using which we can store any piece of information in our memory. So these types are shared preferences. So shared preferences is used to save very small piece of information, and it is your duty to know when to use these shared preferences, and apart from this how to use these shared preferences and what are the advantages and disadvantages of these shared preferences. Second is file system. Now if you want to save 200 MB file, then you must use your external storage. So as a beginner you must know what is file system, how to access our external storage, how to save any data in our external storage, and how to take that data in our application. So these things you must know. Lastly we have local database. Now this local database is specific to our application. The data which you store here is not exposable to our user. This is a very private data and we should use RoomDB in order to achieve that. And also this thing is mainly used for caching. RoomDB is used for caching, which is specific to our application. We are done with our basic topics. Now it's time to discuss few advanced topics that is super important as an Android app developer. So the first one is dependency injection, then we have networking, then we have multi-threading. So in dependency injection we mainly use Dagger Hilt. So first try to understand what is dependency injection, what are the advantages of dependency injection. Then you learn this Dagger Hill thing. Dagger Hill is a third party library that we use as a dependency injection framework in our Android application. We also have this Coin library, and this library is also used to provide dependencies in our Android application. So these two are mainly used for dependency injection. Second one is networking. So suppose your application use any kind of backend service, so you must communicate with your backend service. So for that we have a retrofit library. So this library is actually used to integrate your backend to your front end. So in our case our front end is Android. Last one is multi-threading. So you got two choices in multi-threading. Either you choose Kotlin coroutine or you choose RxJava. It's totally up to you, and if you want to learn both, then learn both. So in Kotlin coroutines, try to understand what is coroutine scope, what is coroutine context, and what is dispatcher, and how we change the thread from any thread A to any thread B. So these are very important, and if you learn all these topics, you are done. You know almost 60 to 70% on of Android application development, and yes, you are ready to go and create your own apps. Now for you it's a very good time to understand Android architecture. So we have a lot of architecture that we use during writing our application. So this architecture is actually used to make our code very robust, easily maintainable, easy testable, and also it will provide a suppression of concern. So there are three types that we use in our Android application. So first one is MVVM, model view model. Second one is MVI, model view intent. Third one is MVC, model view controller. So it's your duty, try to find out which one suits best, depends on your condition. This is not like that if you learn MVVM then try to implement everywhere MVVM. It's not like that. You need to understand, try to understand the condition, situation, and then try to implement any architecture on your application. There are few libraries which is provided by Google for us in order to make our life very easy. So these libraries you actually use in your Android app because companies regularly uses all these libraries. Like we have navigation component, we have paging 3 library, we have work manager. So all these libraries is provided by Google for us. So try to understand these libraries and try to play with it so that you get a clear idea what are the use cases of these libraries. Okay, you should learn about Firebase. So Firebase provided a lot of services to us, like its push notification mechanism, which is FCM, its remote config thing, its A/B testing. So all these thing is provided by Firebase. So try to understand what are the things, and if it is possible, try to practically explore all these things by creating an application. If it is possible, if it is not possible, at least you know theoretically what are the services is provided by Firebase and how to use them. Now it is a very good time for you to create few projects. So I will recommend create a to-do app, create a news application using a REST API. So these two projects you should do, and you get a clear idea what are the things you're gonna use in practical application and how to use it. Basically what is retrofit, what is dependency injection framework, how to use it. Okay, so create at least 2-3 projects by yourself so you get a clear idea. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you like this video. I cover everything that I did during my journey. So if you like this video, subscribe this channel, and also like this video. Okay, and comment it if you have any doubt regarding my topics explanation. Okay.